Hello, how are you today? Today we're going to talk about, what do you want to talk about? Well, I think what we need to talk about today is something I think is very important. That is the Native American history in America, as told by the Native Americans. One moment. Now, I am not Native American, so it's kind of funny that I would tell you their perspective, but I read a lot of books. There's a book by Howard Zinn called The People's History of the United States that only touches on a small fraction of what it was like when the colonists first came to the United States of America. Now, in this area of Kingsport, Tennessee, there's a famous place, a holy ground to the Yuchi Nation, and later the Cherokee and the Shawnee. They were three woodland tribes. The Yuchi, which mean the children of the sun from afar away, the Cherokee, which hunted in this area of East Tennessee, and the Shawnee, which were woodland Indians that lived mostly around the mountains but not on the mountains. The Yuchi were high up, but they were very short people. They had a very unique language compared to the other two. Now, did you know that with the Native Americans, the chiefs before the white man came were always women? Their leaders, their elders were always women. This is a true story. But the colonists, they smell like filthy pigs, but they would not deal or parley with women. They would only speak to the men. Now, the women in the Cherokee and the Yuchi, they were the elders for one reason, and one reason only. War was a big decision. They had to decide to send not only their husbands, but their own babies to war. So it was not a decision to be taken lightly. So when they have the meeting, it's important. So in this area also, the conquistador, a man from Hernando de Soto's expedition, his name was Juan Pardo. He came to this area with approximately 101 overpowering conquistador. You know, as far as like the weapons of the time go, they had the musket, they had the armor, they had everything that the Native American did not. And this was in the mid-1600s. But they came to this area looking for one thing. What do you think that was? Not women. Gold. Always gold. Same thing with Chris Columbus. Some kind of hero he was. But at any rate, the Spanish conquistador, they came through. They came all the way up to maybe around where Knoxville is now, maybe a little farther in like a Pigeon Forge, a little farther in like a Dandridge, and they started asking, we will just say asking by force, where's the gold? And the Yuchi would talk about this place called Chenasi, which was their meeting place, their sacred and holy ground. So Juan Pardo in his journal assumed that's where the gold would be. Now, when he moved through the Tennessee Valley, they built the permanent forts, big wood keeps, and then he would leave a few people there, and then he'd go on with his other maybe 90 soldiers. And it got so bad that Juan Pardo had to leave. He got called back to Spain, and but his people were still here. The conquistador were still here. Well, the Yuchi were tired of being asked where the gold was, asked in a forced way, and they band together with the Cherokee and with the Shawnee, and they attack the conquistador in their different forts. They burn all of the forts down, and what ended up happening, they left one survivor to tell the story, and that one survivor left, told the story. The Spanish conquistador never came back to this area. Now, the interesting thing about this region, the highest point in the Kingsport area is the end of Base Mountain, a place called Chimney Top. Chimney Top is the highest point in this area, and that is mentioned in Juan Pardo's journal from 16. I want to say 60 something. I got the book over there. It's Juan Pardo Expeditions, and there's another book there that's written by a guy, well, some of his information. His name was Paul somebody. He was from Greene County. He taught at Vanderbilt. He's a very smart man. But he talked about how Chimney Top was the landmark they needed to find Chenasi. And if you know anything about this area, from a Chimney Top, you can see Chimney Top way down Highway 81, farther than Greene County. You see it come over the ridge. And then from Chimney Top, you can see Long Island here in Kingsport, Tennessee. Long Island is sacred and holy place is going to maybe be the next thing I talk about. I'm not sure yet. But to give you an idea just how many Native Americans were in America, this is a map drawn by Nakoma Volkman. And when you get to our area, down here, so important. If you look close, what was here? Now, Nakoma Volkman lived in the Midwest now. He's of the Lakota origin, but he loved Native American history, so I don't know why he would, falsify that this whole huge population, Native American, It's a tragedy, but we must try hard to recognize when something like this happens again. A similar thing happened in Australia, really all over the world. The conquerors end up telling the story. If you want to know more about this, I recommend the book by Howard Zinn. It's called The People's History of the United States. It not only covers the Native American and what happened to them, but it also covers slavery, different things that way, child workers in factories, the Industrial Revolution, things like this, from the perspective of the common people, not the people telling the story. So, I would like to thank you for tuning in now, and I have got to go hospital and get this fixed, because my head hurts so bad, and I think, hang on, it's okay. Oh, lunch. I like apples. In fact, there's a guy here write the story, J.S. Moore, Understanding Apple. Now that in itself is a story, I'm sure. But thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Boris, giving you some food for thought, and I hope to see you next time if I could find my trademark. No, I don't ever shoot the camera. I would not do this, but at any rate, this is ultimately what happened to Native American. The power this way. White men take the land, and I'll tell next time about the Long Island curse, when the white man forcibly took the land from the Cherokee, and the shamans cursed the land and said that no one would ever find peace there. Okay, this is Boris signing out. You want me to talk about something else, just feel free to post in the comment and I'll do my best. Bye-bye. Love you. Good luck.